Columbia was a success because we radicalized a lot of people. Our goal was to politicize the campus and to draw more people in. It was a success in our own terms, but the method, we made a fundamental mistake, my friends and myself, in thinking that it was our audacity that had created the conditions for the strike. See, this goes back to a faction fight within SDS between the action faction, that was my group, and the praxis axis. The praxis axis were Marxists who wanted to organize, and build the base. We said, no, the time is now for action, and that will build the base. Okay? Jump ahead a year. The action faction has used the example of Columbia, misused the example, misidentified the problem of how to organize by thinking that it was our exemplary action that did it, and we then sort of grew in adherents, supporters from around SDS and other campuses, and we built a faction within SDS called Weathermen. Now, the ins and outs of the ideology of Weathermen are very interesting, and it has to do with national liberation. It has to do with a strategy proposed by a guy by the name of Che Guevara, which was the strategy of the FOCO strategy, which was that you begin armed struggle and that draws in adherents. That brings it in. That builds the movement. In a sense, it's the propaganda of the gun, right? But the propaganda of the deed. We then split SDS over this issue. Now, there's a lot more to this story of how the split in SDS happened. Yeah, that's it.
We are indeed at 9 minutes, which equals about 5 minutes active time.
Okay, I'll do two more. Two more. Okay. So I'll finish up real quick.
Activist time or 2 more minutes regular time?
Regular time. 16 seconds. 120 seconds.
Figures you would say.
So I was a math teacher. It's 120 seconds.
Thank you.
So we formed a faction in SDS called Weatherman, and we said the time is now to pick up the gun. And we wanted to be in solidarity with the people of the world, especially the black people, led by the Black Panthers, who were already in what we called revolution, right? And so we had this notion that it's an accurate notion that the war in Vietnam was the result of imperialism. It is. It is an example of imperialism. The United States wants to go and conquer a country to keep it from seceding. That's what Vietnam was. And that conversely, the opposition is the national liberation movements of the world. And we wanted to be on the side of the national liberation movements. We don't want to be just applauding them. That would be racist. We wanted to help them pick up the gun. Total bust. Had nothing, no good effect whatsoever. The first thing we did was we killed 3 of our own people. Then we destroyed it. Well, before that, we destroyed SDS, the largest single organization, student radical organization. I could talk more about SDS because it wasn't radical enough for us. It wasn't picking up the gun, right? And then we also did a wonderful thing for the FBI. We split the anti-war movement down the middle over the issue of our right to armed struggle. Because we know armed struggle is the right thing in the world. We know that U.S. imperialism needs to fall. We know that the people of the world have picked up the gun. The revolution is here, and now we have to do it. So we split the anti-war movement over that. Of course, I should add that the Vietnamese had asked us to unite as many people as possible to end the war. But we said to the Vietnamese, we're smarter than you are. We know what our conditions are. Right? That's the end of the story. I spent 7.5 years as a fugitive around these ridiculous ideas I had. My analysis is that we went from good organizing up to Columbia to the belief in self-expression. That if only we express ourselves, our great ideas, that the people of the world are rising